I've been using smartwatches for more than 20 years and have owned just about every Apple Watch model too. The first Apple Watch Ultra was clearly made for me with a big display, orange highlights, extra durability, and more. I've been using the Apple Watch Ultra 2 for about a year, and the latest version of iOS takes things to the next level. Hello everybody, this is Matthew Miller, otherwise known online as Palm Solo, and thanks for visiting my Mobile with Matt YouTube channel. Please consider subscribing, sharing with your family and friends, and leaving comments as I respond to all of them, and I look forward to interacting with each and every one of you. Let me just start off by talking a little bit about the Watch Ultra 2, and then I'm going to talk about some of the software elements that are in the current beta. I wore the original Apple Watch Ultra in a 15K Tough Mudder event in 2022. Just so happens I ordered that Apple Watch Ultra and I got it in a band that I really didn't care for, but it was the only one available. That watch arrived the day before that event, and I took it on that Tough Mudder. If you've ever done a Tough Mudder, it's a 15K run with 20-something obstacles that are pretty crazy. Well, the Apple Watch Ultra performed flawlessly, even with mud, rocks, and everything else that I was throwing at it, and that display stayed pristine. The only thing that happened was there was one little scratch on the edge of that Apple Watch Ultra, but it was nearly invisible. So that watch performed flawlessly, and it even activated the fall detection feature after I landed pretty hard after a major jump over a coal pit. The Watch Ultra 2 was released and added a newer processor, a brighter display, and twice the internal storage. Most of those things that it added, nobody would really recognize or need, and there was really no need to upgrade from the Watch Ultra to the Ultra 2, so none of these really justified upgrading that version. But this was actually the first product that Apple ever sent me to evaluate, so I made that switch and started using the Apple Watch Ultra 2. When the Watch Ultra 2 rolled out with watchOS 10, it took a bit of time to get used to the new interface with the control center access, the smart stack swipe, and more. But I was particularly thrilled with the Snoopy watch faces. They provided over 100 different animations, and they responded to current conditions, like if you worked out or if it was raining outside. And I have to say, if you haven't tried it yet, try the Snoopy watch faces. It's a lot of fun. Another thing was cycling support was a big deal, with support for Bluetooth sensors like speed and cadence sensors from Garmin that I have mounted on my bike. So that made watchOS 10 a pretty compelling update, and over time it got better. They rolled out the custom workout support, and I actually had a chance to test that out a little bit earlier in the beta and really enjoyed that experience with intervals and other custom workouts that synced right over to the Watch Ultra 2. Now, in the old days, I've been around for 20 plus years and I used a lot of Android phones. I even jailbroke my past iPhones. I would hack on software all the time. Devices today, I use as my daily drivers. So I'm a little more hesitant to jump on the bandwagon and try, especially developer betas and then public betas beyond that. However, I met with Apple a couple months ago and I saw a glimpse of what was coming this fall with watchOS 11. And some of the things that they showed off, I just couldn't resist. So I've been running the latest version, well actually all of them, the beta version of watchOS 11 on the Apple Watch Ultra 2. One of the primary reasons that I wanted to touch watchOS 11 on the Watch Ultra 2 is the new training load functionality. Now this is the kind of functionality that directly challenges the likes of Garmin, Polar, Suunto, and Coros. Now, I'm not a professional athlete, but I am fairly active and I like tracking my progress as I try to improve my performance in events. I like reviewing the data, and I like understanding and confirming that what my wearables are showing me is confirmed about how my body is reacting. So training load works through effort ratings of 1 through 10. For many cardio workouts, the effort will be calculated and presented automatically. But even with these, you can adjust that perceived effort after the experience and the workout if it doesn't really match how you felt, right? Sometimes it might say level of 7. You're like, well, I really didn't work that hard. I'm going to knock it down to a 5. In my practices over the last couple weeks, I've actually found that Apple does a pretty good job with the algorithms, and the effort has been pretty much spot on for most of my workouts. Some of my rowing on the hydro, it doesn't pick up all the time as the effort, so I do adjust the effort on those afterwards, but it's pretty easy to give myself a 3 or 6 effort. I rarely have an effort of 9 or 10. That would primarily be if I was going to run a marathon or a half marathon or one of my ultra events, Tough Mudder events or something like that. So these effort scores are then multiplied by the duration, and then those values are averaged out over 7 days and 28 days to come up with the trends and percentages that you can see if you're below, above, or in sync with your training plan. Now, another new key app that feeds into that training load, and it's in the health and wellness area, is Vitals. Apple Watches have been able to track your sleep for quite a while. I've really never used my Apple Watch for tracking sleep because I just didn't find that it offered that much value, and the watch would have to be charged. So I figured, okay, I'll charge it at night. But when you get watchOS 11 on your Apple Watch, you may want to start using your watch for tracking sleep because the Vitals app is used only during your sleep time. So Vitals tracks key metrics as you sleep. So in order to use the Vitals app, you need to wear your Apple Watch to bed. Vitals measures heart rate, respiratory rate, wrist temperature, blood oxygen, and sleep duration. I love the way that Apple provides this information in glanceable format on your watch and your iPhone. When you look at it, it shows you in blue if it's in the typical range, and then pink if you're above or below your range. So you can quickly and easily see your results. And it's not saying good or bad because it depends on the situation. It may be typical, above or below. It doesn't necessarily mean it's bad. Maybe you wanted to put an extra effort, or you wanted less sleep, or you had a reason for that. It's not slamming you for doing it poorly. It's just telling you if you're above or below, or if you're in typical range. If 2 or more metrics are outside of the typical range, then you'll be notified with some guidance to help you move back into that range, such as your sleep was a little bit low and your temperature was up. Are you feeling all right? Guidance, maybe take a nap, maybe rest a little bit more, maybe work out, things like that. So it's pretty helpful information. So use the new training load in the Vitals app. Also opened my eyes to the vast amount of data collected and shown in Apple Health. Now, I've seen all of the data in Apple Health before. It's not that organized. It's all over the place. It's overwhelming. And that's one reason I liked using Garmin watches, because the Garmin Connect and in other apps as well, Polar and these guys, provided in a very digestible manner. Now, the Apple Health app and the new customizable fitness app really make viewing this data pretty useful. And if you dive into it, you can see reports by day, week, month, 6-month, annual, and it's making me want to use my Apple Watch Ultra a little bit more and view the data that's there in Apple Health and Fitness. I really like the updates in the Fitness app when you can now update your summary page and put on there what you really want to see and use, and it's so much better than it was before, where it was the default and you had no control over what appeared on that summary page. That summary page now on your iPhone also includes the training load and Vitals information, so that's great. I've also mentioned earlier on watchOS 10 that I've enjoyed using the custom workouts features, and one additional thing in watchOS 11 is they now add the up next view. So I'll show you how much time you have left in your current interval, as well as a snapshot of what your upcoming interval is, and that's fantastic. Before, that was kind of embedded in certain apps, and now it's more widespread on the Apple Watch itself. So that's very helpful for your training, and provides a function that isn't always available in GPS sports watches. There are also thousands of curated hikes available across all U.S. national parks. Now, I haven't yet had a chance to get up to Mount Rainier National Park, for example. I have downloaded Mount Rainier National Park data to my Apple Watch Ultra 2, because you can download those national parks to your device and access them offline while you're in the park. So I'm going to be going up there doing some hikes and testing that out here pretty soon. You can get turn-by-turn trail navigation with voice guidance. Topographic maps will show you the contours, the elevation changes, and things like that. So the Apple Watch Ultra 2 provides what I need for rowing, running, hiking, fly fishing, biking, walking, and more. While I think the Apple Watch Ultra 2 can get me by for most of my activities, I also enjoy golfing. And I've been using Garmin watches because combined with the Garmin CT10 golf sensors, Garmin watches are excellent for golf. But I mentioned this to the Apple folks, and they encouraged me to take a closer look at the Apple Watch Ultra 2 because Apple released a high-frequency motion API in watchOS 10, and they suggested the app called Golf Shot. So I downloaded Golf Shot, tried it out on one time at the course, and immediately bought the Pro version. It provides advanced tracking of your golf activity, including range and swing tracking. So you can use it at the range and swing, and it does swing analysis and everything else through the Apple Watch Ultra 2. It's awesome. So I'm now a Golf Shot Pro subscriber. I actually just went golfing this morning, saved that round, and came up perfectly. I wore a Garmin on the other wrist and the Apple Watch Ultra 2 with Golf Pro on the other, and both matched up. So golf may have been solved by this functionality. One surprising function that has me using the Apple Watch Ultra 2 more than ever is the ability to use the double pinch gesture to scroll through lists and multiple page displays on the watch itself. Now, watchOS 10 came out with some gesture support. It wasn't that useful. It would be okay every once in a while. My routine now is to lift my wrist and start double pinching to launch the Smart Stack, where I can then fly through my widgets and see everything I need to see. And now I'm using it every time I go to an app that has a list. I'm using the double pinch, and it's working so perfectly well and responsive. Every time I do the double pinch, I see an action on the watch. And that is fantastic. So Apple continues to impress with active software updates that make the Apple Watch Ultra 2 a watch that I can honestly use in place of a GPS sports watch. And with all of the other smartwatch things above and beyond that, including triaging of communications, finding my phone, finding my friends, and using it as a phone without my phone with me, and many, many, many more things. The Apple Watch Ultra 2 is really starting to become my primary watch. And I'm not a professional athlete. The activities I participate in, it's meeting my needs. The 2-day battery life remains the one major challenge, but honestly, the Apple Watch Ultra 2 charges fairly quickly, and I'm in the routine now of throwing it on the charger. If I'm going to be sitting at my desk for an hour or two of work, I'll throw the Apple Watch Ultra 2 on the charger because nothing's happening at that time. I'm thrilled with watchOS 11. The betas have gotten better every time with more functionality, and the Apple Watch Ultra 2 is a fantastic Apple Watch. That watchOS 11 will be coming to the public this fall, and I can't wait to see what else is going to be in watchOS 11. Thank you everybody for watching. I hope you got something out of this. You see my excitement for the Apple Watch Ultra 2 and watchOS 11. Please subscribe, share with family and friends, and may the mobile force be with you.